Hey guys, Shale Surfer here. I thought I'd make a short little video on the ways you can use Diana's toolkit and her abilities to your advantage in lowering the amount of time it takes to kill an opponent and kind of making it more efficient to play her, because from what I've seen, just starting off the bat, her Q to R combo, a lot of people wait to land their Q before they can go on a squishy target. Like this. Basically, they hit the target, then they go in. Well, the moment you hit them, they're gonna know that you're gonna want to go in. Like that's kind of the main point.
It will be heard.
So if you kind of take away their chance to react, say by going like this, ulting and hitting it, it still refreshes the cooldown, still gives you the ability to jump on your target, and still allows you to use your ultimate again. And that's the biggest thing. If Diana doesn't have her ultimate, she doesn't have to have a way to get in and out. Basically, if this is an enemy champion, the Scuttle, or the Rift Scuttler or whatever, and you jump on them, you want to be able to keep going and say they're chasing you through here, they're about to catch you and get to you, you want to be able to have another dash to your opponent. Or a minion or something to escape. Diana is a very heavy engaged champion that doesn't have much of an escape route once she commits to a fight. But the playstyle that you have to play with Diana is aggressive. You can't play passively, otherwise you won't really win games with her. She's a very snowbally champion that you don't see in the lower... Well, you see her a lot more in the lower elos than you do in the upper elos, like Diamond or Plat. Just because of the fact that if she gets shut down, she has a very hard time getting back into the game. I only know a few people that actually do play her competitively. Spazzy being one of them, and he's quite good. He knows all of her combos and tricks, and knows how to go from there. One problem with Diana, though, is if she misses her Q and you go in with that tactic, it can be fatal. You want to rush a Zhonya's right away just to get your cooldowns back roughly to where they need to be to have a shot to escape. As you can see, earlier when I tried to jump to the Rift Scuttler or whatever, I missed. Well, not in that situation, but I missed, and my cooldowns weren't reset on my R, and that's really bad for you, because what you want to do is you want to Q R Zhonya's, wait a couple seconds, and if you have your build set up and stuff, if you're deep in the mid game, you should be able to Q again to another target, jump back on, and then, of course, ultimate one more time to kill just about any squishy target you'll ever see. Personally, Diana is a moderately weak jungler because of the fact that her early game is so uninspiring. Unless the lane is really pushed, she's not really going to have much of an effect on the enemy team. She is a farming champion that has great sustain in the jungler, similar to Warwick in that sense, but can't really do much pre-6 unless you have a very heavy CC comp, and even then, it's questionable.
They could not break me.
She isn't much of a counter jungler, I would say. She doesn't have the tool set to be a counter jungler, but she definitely has a strong offense and a power spike when she hits level 6 to 7. If you decide to go the cockier route and rushing, of course, Runic Echoes, the perfect item on her, it's really buffed her in that sense. My suggestion is go straight into Zhonya's. Don't go for Death Cap unless you're super far ahead, because I know, yeah, you get Death Cap, you're going to be able to one-shot just about any squishy, any assassin jungler or mid laner with not too much of a problem. But of course, you got to worry about those tanks. Tanks will destroy you, and they will shut you down, similar to how a tank would shut Quinn down in the early game. Champions like that. They're bullies early game if they're up against squishy targets. And if you decide to take her top lane, I know a lot of people have been trying that recently. It's not exactly the smartest choice, but she is a good and fair counter to Jax at the moment, if you play her correctly, because all of her abilities go straight through his Counter-Strike, which is a pain in the ass to deal with, you know? Her mechanics are similar to that of Jax's, in the sense that her passive works kind of like Jax's ultimate passive, dealing damage every third hit.
I cannot turn back.
She has the leaps, the jumps, the CC, and kind of the defensive properties that are similar to Jax in a sense. But she lacks the tankiness until late game, where you can either throw on a Rylai's for extra health, or just schmuck it up with a Guardian Angel. To be honest, I'd give Diana probably 6 out of 10 for effectiveness throughout the whole game. Because if she doesn't get fed, she is practically, I wouldn't say useless, but not effective. She has okay wave clear, but she's really susceptible to ganks. Because unless she has something to dash to, all she can do is flash, ghost, or walk away. Not much of a effective way of escape, basically. Diana does have 2 major strengths that she can play towards, and that is her heavy burst. She can 100 to 0 most targets with just a couple items, as long as she hasn't died to them, and as long as they aren't super fed. And the second is, if you go into the jungle, you will be maxing your shield first. You won't be maxing your Q. A lot of people max their Q first, which is a very big mistake. Just because her Q doesn't give her the sustain she needs in the jungle. Her W does. You need that shield to basically mitigate as much damage as possible until you have enough burst to just one-shot the camps. Just level 2, it gives her a nice little, over 110 health shield. It's about 130 health shield. Not too bad. Gets to stop a couple of the attacks of the monsters, or the neutral monster buffs or whatever. Super effective in clears, since it also deals damage and scales pretty well with your AP. A few cool tricks for champions that are charging at you. Say Hecarim. If you time it right, her E can actually stop Hecarim's dash onto you in its tracks, because it's considered I wouldn't say a knock-up, I would consider it a displacement, almost like a knock-up, because I don't believe Yasuo can ult off of her E. I haven't seen it done.
The moon.
But it is a good displacement that slows him down and knocks him out of, like, something like that. If you time it right, you can stop a Lee Sin dash. You can stop a Rengar jump. And stuff like that, I guess. Right now, she is my main jungler of choice just because I enjoy curb stomping the lower elos with her. Most people don't play up against Diana often and don't really know how to counter her. One of her biggest counters is Banshee's Veil, because if she tries to jump in on you with that, she automatically has her ultimate on cooldown, because it will stop the Q. And then she's stuck in the middle of the enemy team and she dies. But basically that's all I can come up with on Diana at the moment. She is a very powerful snowballing champion, similar to Akali, Master Yi, Tryndamere, the works. She has okay pushing power, and she has pretty good assassinations. Like I said, I'd rate her 6 out of 10. And yeah, that's Diana for you. If you liked the video, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the like button. It really helps me out.
I cannot turn back.
Until next time, I'll see you guys at the Rift.